it sound? Am I clipping? How does it sound? Am I clipping? All right, we've gone full circle. You're going to hear that here in a second as it'll repeat on the delay. And hello and welcome. I'm gonna play guitar for a minute until we get some people here. Hey everybody, welcome to Guitar Hunter Live, Friday the 14th of May. I am playing a pretty much brand new, it's been on tour for about a year. This is an American-made Guild D55. I have wanted to play this guitar for a long time, and Guild's let me borrow it for a while. And unfortunately, I broke my middle fingernail, so everything sounds weird, and I don't get to play the way I normally would. That was some Feathered Indians. I was trying to be sneaky there. I wasn't that sneaky. Alright, let me hang this one up. Tell me where you guys are coming from. Bad timing, Scar, my guitar's doing a giveaway. Oh, yeah. You have to be, man. Sean knows. Sean knows I do a live show on Fridays. Maybe I'll call him, see if he answers. You can open two windows. No. That's unfortunate. Yeah, so if you're watching Scar on my guitar, you won't hurt my feelings. But yeah, so live show today. We'll do some updates, kind of just a general how things are going here in the studio. I put up the first chunk of foam, of acoustic foam today. And I'll put up more tomorrow and over the weekend. It's a lot better. It's still a little echoey. So, as always, thanks for your grace and your just patience. Because this is a whole lot of things I've never done before. So, anyway, Pennsylvania. Jerome, what'd you say? It makes me so much more curious when I see like comment has been removed or comment retracted. Matt McFarland, how are you? Victoria, BC. Hey, way over that way. Nope, this way. You're this way from me, like 3,000 miles. And more like that way, if you wanted to know. Southport, England. Hey, everybody. So we got David, Brent, David, Jerome, Matt, Barrick, and everybody. The Netherlands, Dutch, Pete. Pete, man, how's your Lucille? So, yeah. So Pete had BB King Lucille. That is so cool. It's signed by BB King, has the certificate of authenticity. It's just the coolest of cool guitars. And, yeah. So I did separate, 8,000 kilometers east. Oh, you're the other way. You're that way. And then everybody in Victoria, BC is probably that many kilometers the other direction. I did part ways. Who was it, Jeff? Jeff asked if I had parted ways with my baritone. So one baritone, yes. So with the Guild baritone, but I do have, I'll grab it. I just restrung this week. This is a Walden B1E. This is a baritone made in China, designed in the U.S. Jonathan, the owner and designer, is just an amazing guy. So similar scale length, but smaller body size. 27-inch scale length, and then really fun, like grand performance, grand auditorium size. So it's not crazy, and then really cool sound hole here, and then a little sound port on the side, and still in B standard. It's just so cool having that super low B. Alright. Yeah, there's plenty of show and tell. I also have the Lugs. You can see them down here. I will make a video. That's the plan, is for me to film a video on them in the next couple days. This is the tiny one. This one sounds basically like a ukulele. So super cool. I'll film a video on those. So the Lugs, so far, I'm really impressed. The one main, like, bonkers thing, they come with super cheap strings, and if you go on their website, they want $19 they make you buy 3 sets of strings at a time. They also don't tell you what size they are, so I'll get a caliper and I'll figure that out, and I'll just say, you can buy 3 single strings, and it'll be like $5 or $6 a pack. But anyway, hey, Aaron P says, hey, just dropping by to say it's 2 a.m. here in Malaysia. I enjoy watching your videos. Just found your channel while searching for videos about the Martin SWD GT. Man, I'm glad we connected. That is, I've said it 1,000 times. That's my favorite Martin in many, many ways. My friend Jesse still has mine. What's this stunning acoustic behind me with an open headstock? Let me grab it. Okay, so we're hanging around. We'll jump in here in a second, and we'll just talk about some deals coming up, and I'll finish my update of the studio. This is a beautiful guitar. This is a Collings 001 ASB. So it's 00 size, it's a 12 fret body, it's a red spruce top, so the A stands for Adirondack top, and then the SB stands for Sunburst. This is a beautiful monster of a guitar. I just finished editing a video. There will be a video that'll come out today or tomorrow. It'll be tomorrow. I finished editing it today, but I ran out of time before the live show. So this guitar belongs to my friend PW. He is a great singer-songwriter from Asheville, North Carolina. And so this guitar, it belongs to him. And, he has, he's in a situation that, many of us have been in, I've been in, which is some medical bills came up and taking care of little kids, and you got little kids at home. You own a business, and so you just have to sell guitars. So this guitar is going to be for sale. So if you're interested, it hasn't even hit. I'm going to put it on the website today, and then the video will go up today or tomorrow. I assume that it'll sell fairly quickly. This is just an amazing little guitar. It's very similar to my Waterloo, but in some ways it is just way, way better quality of materials and all that. Just a truly, properly beautiful guitar. Also has a K&K Pure Mini with the mini plug in the back. So this guitar is just perfectly set up for singer-songwriter, whoever you are. So, okie doke. Studio update and then just life update from this week. This week has been really busy. I'm still getting settled in the studio here. I'm trying to calm the echo. That's the biggest thing. You can't see. So basically, I've got a workbench here that I bought 2 new workbenches this week. One of them is like a stand-up desk. So look, I can roll this thing up. And when can you see it? Oh, there it is. You can kind of see this corner over here. But I got a desk, which is going to be my editing spot. That'll be over here on one side, and then photography. I'll put some shelves up on the wall so I can put my cameras and all that. On the other side, I bought a big Husky toolbox. Husky verb, not adjective, or a Husky brand. And so it's a 46-inch, has a bunch of drawers. I need to be able to store tools and then parts and pieces, bits and bobs, all that stuff. So I've got all that going. It's powered. It's really awesome. It's got a power strip on the side, so that's a super helpful tool. It's interesting that it is a tool to hold tools. But with that, once I got those 2 things settled, I was like, okay, where am I going to put these big swatches of acoustic tiling? So I put a chunk over here between the guitar cases and the workbench, and then I'll put another one over here today. I just got them today, but they come all squished and packed down real tight. So I've got to soak those in the bathtub for a couple minutes, let them expand, and then I have to let them dry, all that stuff. Years ago, when like foam mattresses were first becoming popular, a friend of ours was like, hey, I got this mattress. It's coming in the mail. Can you just run over to my house and open it? I left the box in the hallway. You can just open it up and just let me know when, so that it's ready to go when we get back. And I go and, oh, Tom, you jerk. Tom says, hello from the Florida Keys. Must be nice. It's still like 61 degrees here, 58 degrees here. But, so my friend, I went over to his house to open this mattress, like a Casper, one of those. And I did not read any of the directions. This is years ago, before when they were first kind of getting popular. And, man, I, like, pulled it, and there was like a zip tie thing that I pulled, and it just like whap, 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 and like smacked me against a wall, and like knocked me so hard I saw stars, and just so that was my first experience. So the acoustic tiles on the wall aren't quite the same, but they're still a pretty intense thing to deal with. So let's see what else. So that's a general update. I've had a bunch of guitars show up this week. I put a K&K in my Waterloo. I filmed a video about that. That video will go out whenever I can get to it. I've got like 4 videos already filmed that are waiting to see the light of day. I also have a friend and just an amazing friend and editor that's now starting to do some videos for me, which is an amazing answer to prayer and just an amazing thing for me to kind of grow and scale Guitar Hunter and to do more meaningful work. Because right now, just so much of my time gets spent editing videos. And so this way, it's way easier for me to just film stuff and then have it ready. And I'll do like the general, like, here's how I want it to go together, boom. And then she runs through it and edits it. So anyway, all that to say, man, this has been a really good week. I passed my 2 weeks since my COVID shot, so I can get back out there licking the streets if I want. And yeah, so it feels like life is kind of opening back up a bit. I got to go have a beer with some friends last night. That was the first time I've done that in over a year. Just like hang out, see people, tell funny stories, belly laugh, drink beer, and it was really fun. And yeah, so everything's moving. I've got a guitar here that we can talk about here in a minute. But so the theme of today's show, let's transition into that. So the theme of the show, actually, I think I actually had titles for all this stuff. Let me see. Yeah, so I'll turn off the logo too. You guys know who I am and what I'm about. So we did the studio walkthrough, kind of talked through all of this. I've been surprised with the mini split isn't as great at keeping the space hot or warm, and it's just been a fluke, weird, cold time in Virginia. So we did that. The giveaway details, we are going to be giving away this guitar right here. This is it's a 64 Gibson LGO. There's a link in the description below if you want to enter that. Now, the way that we're doing this is that you have to nominate friends. And so you nominate people who deserve a guitar that will just make them a better musician and a better friend. And it'll be just a great thing for them in their life. So do that, link in the description below. Now the next, and then guitars for sale. I have a bunch of guitars for sale. If you're interested, I have this Taylor 412 is still for sale. Let me turn the announcements off here. And borrowed, I own this one and that one. Those are both mine. I'm going to hang on to, this is so hard. It breaks my brain. If I look at the camera, it's easier. This one is going to be, I'm hanging on to that one for a while. But I also have a D18E that will be for sale here in the next little bit. This 52 Tele reissue right here is for sale as well. Now when I say for sale, I still haven't put them on my website. But if you're interested in any of those, you can send me a message. You can send me an email. You can do all that. So, that's funny, Dave. I miss beer so much. We're doing IVF. What? Doing IVF, so ale is a no-go. I didn't know that. Wow, I'm sorry. I'll drink some beers for you. I'm in this with you. I'll enjoy them on your behalf. I'll tell you that they're delicious and they're cold and they're refreshing. That's not helpful. But yeah, so let's jump in. So this week's show, we wanted to talk about, I asked, tell me about your deals. What deals do you have going on? And, I'll just comment on them and talk about them. And if you have these as we go, feel free to ask me questions along the way. So, Ghost Town Music got a 1966 Melody Maker for $500, modded with all originals and the original, with original and TKL case. Oh, okay. So a 66 Melody Maker, $500. It was modded and it has all the original, so maybe all the original hardware and then the original case. Now it depends on what mods. If it's just pickup swaps and hardware swaps, that's not the end of the world. But on those guitars, you can almost guarantee that it's going to be the body's been routed. $500 is still pretty good. Now, he didn't mention if that guitar has a neck crack. So if I were him, the first things I would look for are okay, yes, the case, yes, the mods, but let's look for just typical, damage issues on Melody Makers. So neck cracks. Every old Gibson, you have to look for that smiley crack. I have a guitar over here that we'll look through, and maybe that's what we'll do. So we'll look through this guitar, and we'll walk along together and say, hey, what do you see? I'll tell you what I see. Now, some of that I'll do my best because you're coming through the internet on a camera, and I'm here in person. And I also sold this guitar 15 years ago, so I know a lot about it. So, yeah, $500 for that. And, because you look at, you could sell the TKL case or you can sell the original case, sell the TKL for $100, sell the other for $250. Yeah, that guitar is a pretty guitar that's a pretty easy guitar to end up getting for free if you do that. Martin Brault bought an unplayed mint condition Martin OM 18 Authentic 1933 for $3,900. Sheesh. I love those guitars. That guitar, a couple years ago when I first started the Dream Guitar Challenge, that was the guitar that I planned on. I think I did that video in September of 18. So it's been a minute. But yeah. So So on that one, that's I mean, they sell for what, 5,500 new, and they don't make many of them. So 3,900, that's a freaking deal. That's a cool guitar. It has a giant, wonderful V-shaped neck. The finish is really cool because it's a hand-rubbed sunburst. Is yours the amber tone? That's such a cool guitar. I love OMs. I love OM18s. I had an OM18V that I sold that I really wish I wouldn't have sold. This is a 4-piece one, and I have to pull it up so I can see it here. Oh, hang on. Let me pause. Before we do that, I'll come over here. There's a super chat. So Tom says, saw the Instagram and Facebook post of you playing an 8-string uke. Please share more about that instrument and your uke playing. I have unfortunate news. It's a mandolin. So it's a Pono octave mandolin. It's an M20. I've been looking for an octave mandolin for a long time. I love them. I just think that voice and that tone, that and a bouzouki and that kind of instrument are just so fun. And so it's an octave mandolin. I have a video about it. I bought it from Carter Vintage in Nashville. It's actually in the house, so I can't grab it now. That one stays like close by because it's just so fun. So it's tuned like a mandolin. It's an octave down, has a bigger body. It sounds a lot more like a guitar, but it really sits in a really cool place in the mix. I play it at church mostly. I mean, that's where most of my live music is these days, is playing in church. But it's just a super fun. And Pono, since I made that video, the owner and creator of Pono has reached out to me and just, said, thanks for, your excitement about our brand, and we're doing a bunch of stuff and we'll let you know. And anyway, it's very cool. I like that guitar a whole lot. What type of bridge do I prefer on a Telly? This is Jeff Squires. I prefer a 3-saddle, brass saddles, like the 52 reissue, and if I have to. So what I have on this one, are they Wilkinson? This one has the Wilkinson compensated saddles. So they are 3 saddles, but they're compensated. And this is a monster of a Telly. And so for me, I like the style and the aesthetic of an ashtray bridge with the 3 saddles. I don't really mind. You could do the brass 6 saddles, but yeah, Tom, sorry, it's not a uke. I wish it was. No, I don't. But I do wish that I played more uke. Kenneth says, what do you recommend in flat top for intermediate player that is easy on fingers to play? Easy to play doesn't. It's more about getting a good setup. So if you have a good tech, good repair person, good shop that can set up most of those guitars. So in the intermediate price range, Orangewood, but they're a little tricky because they don't sell through traditional retail. You order them, and some of them do need setups when they come, which all guitars will. But other intermediate acoustic guitars, Alvarez is a really good and reliable. Recording King is good, but make sure you get it set up well from the shop that you're getting. Eastman is another really good option. I've been talking to JP Cormier. We've become pretty quick friends, and he's really told me that I need to check out and pay more attention to Eastman and more to Recording King and Yamaha. But guitars are better now than they ever have been. So you have tons of really good options in that 3 to 5 range. The other amazing guitars, I think the best guitars in that price range, in my opinion, are the modern, the Westerly, the Chinese-made Guilds. I think are just so good. So Barrick says he's trying to work a deal on a 36 Martin 0017. Seems like the guy has gone cold though. Yeah. Where are they coming on that? What price range? So I had a 37 a few years ago, and I had big dollar bills in my mind, thinking like I can get this guitar and I can sell it and I can make so much money. And they're around $2,000. They're around $2,500. So yep. Matt Gates says, have you played the Ibanez Artwood Parlor? What are your thoughts? I have. They're okay. I think all those Ibanez are like, they're good. I've just never been a huge fan of Ibanez as a brand. But the acoustics are good. As long as they don't get, sometimes they just look a little cheesy. In that same price range, I probably would go with a Recording King or an Eastman, or a Blue Ridge. There are a ton of really good options in there. Yeah. So Tom, the Pono, my octave mandolin is very much a weird thing that they just happen to make. My thing is, I didn't come in looking at their brand. I came in wanting an octave mandolin, and the only other options are like Northfield for $3,500. Eastman makes one at like $650, and it's okay, but I like the Pono better. And yeah, so anyway, yeah, Sunshine said the same thing I was thinking. Like, get a good setup, light gauge strings. Yeah, Evan, am I going to try and pick up the Jason Isbell signature Telly? I am. I reached out to my contact at Fender and asked, hey, can I borrow one? Can I play one? I love Jason Isbell. And they said that I haven't heard anything back. But that guitar, I'm sure, is just like, they put a bunch. It's a different strategy from how they launched other guitars. They're not like sending them out to a bunch of people and having them review them. They're just like, they did such a cool video with like Jason at their house in Nashville. And yeah, so yeah, be careful with Recording King. The V-neck may not be as comfortable to beginners and intermediates. Yeah, so Recording King is very much trying to aim for vintage, like feel like, look like, sound like, play like old vintage guitars, which could be off-putting to beginners for sure. Have I ever built a kit guitar? I've built many electric guitars. I have not done any acoustic guitars. Electric guitars, yeah, I've done a ton. Probably above 50 now. I'm not very good at it. Like, they come out middle of the road, parts caster feeling is usually how they end up. And so that's why it's just, and it takes a whole different set of tools and a set of space. And so anyway, I've thought about a guitar that I really enjoy playing is, there's a Martin kit. So it was a friend, he bought a Martin kit, but he swapped out the back and sides with Brazilian rosewood that he had blanks, and so he bent and got them all together. And but it's technically a kit guitar, and but it's my old guitar teacher. It's his like standby studio acoustic, and it's just amazing. Barrick 4600 Canadian, that's high. Right, so let me convert that. What's 4,600 to 370? Good Lord, pass. Too expensive, way too expensive. Yeah, they're worth $2,000 in the States for 30s. That's a lot of money. You could get, if you want. I would look at like a Santa Cruz. They're 1939. It's like basically a 0017. Yeah, I think that would be awesome for you. Opinion on American Standard Strat of the 2010s. They're great. If you can get them, they've come up in price in the last couple of years. So there was a while where Strats and Tellys weren't as popular, particularly 90s, 2000s, 2010s. And you could get American Standards for $500 if you were lucky, to like $600-700. And yeah, so yeah, I would hang on to something like that, or like, yeah, they're all good. I had a Sienna Sunburst. From 2012. A couple years ago, it was an HSS, and I loved it. It was just such a beautiful finish, great playing guitar. And it's like, now I have my American Pro 2. That's from last year. And that's technically 2010s. No, mine's 2020. Let's see. What's the serial on this? Yep, there's a 20. But yeah, so I have this guitar, which I love. Like, I think Strats right now are probably the best they ever have been. What else? Yeah, Barrick. It's a dream guitar. It is a dream guitar, but you can find that dream guitar for a lot less money in other places. Like even from a bigger retailer, I bet you could find a 0017 from the 30s or 40s for not crazy money. $2,500, even up to but $3,700. That's just way too much money, in my opinion. I mean, unless you are going to own that thing for the rest of eternity and you're going to give it to your grandkids. But even then, you're still kind of buying 10 years down the road, I think, at that price. You said you installed the K&K on the Waterloo. What DI preamp do you use on it live? I use the LR Bags Venue, right? I always get it backwards. Yeah, I use the Venue. So it has a volume, it has a boost and a tuner, an EQ. There's a bunch of things that you can do with that. I do that and pump up the volume. It sounded amazing yesterday. Had tons of low end, tons of bass. Sounded really great. Yeah, I like that a lot. I also played around. Sweetwater sent me one of the Fishman, what's it called? The DEQ. Like their effects and EQ, and that thing has a ton of control. I wish it had a tuner. That's the biggest thing that it's like. It is almost everything that I would want. I just wish it had a tuner on it. What's your opinion? Jeff says, hang on. Okay. So Jake says, have I tried Andrew White guitars? I have not. I have a Jatoba Wood Sibeli, small body, great guitar for picking. You should review one. Okay, so I have a list of people to reach out to see if I can borrow guitars and check stuff out and review them. My opinion on American Fender replacement parts that are made in China, as long as they fit the same spec, the two main specs that I always find are wrong on those things are bridge spacing. The location of the saddle screws on American Strats are always off-centered versus being straight down the middle. That's one of the biggest ways you can see is when stuff just looks cockeyed. That's the biggest problem. But anyway, so I haven't tried the Epiphone, the Inspired by Gibson. No, I haven't. So, all right. Well, guys, unfortunately, I have to cut I just got a text and a phone call. So I have to cut the show short. I'm very sorry. Let me blitz through some last questions here. Actually, no, we won't do that. But yeah, so let me, the guy in Sweden won, they get to, oh, a guy from Sweden. Oh boy, good luck with shipping costs. Mike Pinion. I'm gonna have to run here. 1 second, I have to cut the show short, like 15 minutes. I'm very sorry. Try to answer the new Epiphone Inspired by Gibson. I want to. I've heard, so I talked to JP Cormier and he said that they're really, really good. Because for me, like Epiphones have just been, they look super cool, but they don't sound great. Anyway, I'm very sorry. I have to cut the show short today. Check out the videos. Go to jeremytheguitarhunter.com/shop and buy some merch and stuff. All right, guys. Sorry I have to cut it short. I'll see you later.